Hello, everybody. I wanted to take the opportunity during the last couple days of 2025 to give us um, an energetic overview of the landscape of where we've been in the last year and where we're headed in the year or couple years to come. And as I've mentioned before, 2025 was absolutely destined to be a year of releasing. It's a universal 9 year in astrology, and the number nine is all about shedding. And it was also the year of the water snake. It's also on shedding, releasing, so as to really be able to embrace what's coming next, which is 2026, which is a numerological year, a number one year. And we also had this past year, 2025, all the outer planets were beginning to change signs. We got a taste in 2025 of what's coming, what's possible. And you've probably heard many astrologers and people, including myself, talk about how this isn't just a generational shift. This is a once in multi-thousand year type of a shift to have it all happening at the same time. Aquarius, Pluto moving into Aquarius, uh, Neptune moving into Aries, Saturn moving into Aries, Uranus moving into Gemini, and Jupiter into Cancer. All of that, it's just a huge temperature shift. And it's worth noting that, Jupiter and Saturn have they do shift signs pretty frequently every year or two. But all those other planets, we're talking about 30, 40 plus year cycles at least. And Pluto's got a much larger cycle than that. And so what happened in 2025 is when planets shift because of retrogradation, when they're changing a sign, they'll dip into the new sign, but then they'll retrograde back out of it. And so 2025 we got a taste, got our toes in the water of what's happening, but then the planets went back. And the only planet that in 2025 fully went into its new home, Aquarius, was Pluto. So 2026 means everybody else is going to come along. Everybody who retrograded back is going to really permanently arrive. And this brings me to the sense of what the energy of the fire horse in the Chinese zodiac means. Fire horse energy. This symbolizes a powerful, dynamic, transformative period. If you think about the horse's energy of freedom and energy and ambition, and fire is about passion and urgency and intensity. So there's the potential for rapid progress, rapid innovation. There's also the potential for impulsiveness and conflict. Therein lies the rub of this year. And which is also why I'm saying 2026 is a very pivotal year, and I'll get to the astrology and why. But we're if 2025 was really we could feel the old structures breaking. 2026, there's still going to be some remnants of that. It's like the last gasp of the dinosaur that already knows it's kind of on its way out, but it's gonna give it all it has. It's gonna take the last little bits of energy that it can. So we're gonna see that there's still some um things in our world that are up for revision, and there's still going to be some activity in 2026 around that. But the other thing that's happening in 2026 is those seeds that we were planting all last year, their little seedling heads are going to start to pop themselves up. And it's going to be truly, truly, truly exciting. The other thing that's happening that I mentioned a lot in last year, and it's going to be very operational, especially in 2026 and a little bit into 2027, is that minor triangle between Uranus and Neptune and Pluto. And even though it's called a minor triangle, it's very similar to a grand trine. And they're all, as I like to say, the elders are all in at the dinner table. They're all in smooth communication. They all know the roadmap, and they're here to guide us. And so that energy is going to be able to be much more palpably felt this year because the planets are going to be moving into their signs. So let's talk about a couple of the things that are the first part of the year is what I want to focus on, because I think there's going to be two different um kind of temperatures that happen, and since the first part of the year is the most relevant to us, we have, Uranus really coming to finally conjoin Sedna in February, and I'll do a special broadcast on that. That is about the lightning bolts of change that are around patterns that no longer serve and the real true power that lies within all of us. And that's kicking off in February. We also have, Neptune is still loosely conjunct Saturn. They're going to fully come into out of Pisces and into Aries, and they're going to be exactly conjoined at 0 degrees Aries on February 20th. So it almost feels a little bit like January is going to be this kind of nice soft opening for us. By soft opening, I don't mean that there won't be major changes, but we're going to have a little bit of time to set our intentions and set our vision. Um, you know, Neptune is going into Aries at the end of January, and it's going to be in Aries until 2038. That's a big shift. Neptune in Aries. Saturn's going to move into Aries February 13th. Neptune and Saturn are going to be exactly conjunct at 0 degrees Aries on February 20th. Saturn is in Aries until 2028. The other thing that's happening is Uranus is going to move fully into Gemini, and that's going to happen in April 25th, 2026. And Uranus is going to be in Gemini until 2033. These are all big shifts, and Uranus in Gemini is about all sides. It's about this idea. I think we're going to get this kind of lightning bolt realization. Not only are we the high technology we seek, but there's this, instead of it being black or white, there's this tapestry of energetic diversity where everything is involved and everything matters. And everyone is playing a role, whatever they're doing. And we're going to be able to glimpse this kind of multi-dimensional, multifaceted perfection of who we are and why we're here. And really we're going to be able to recognize within ourselves how powerful we are in this year in 2026. Fire horse in general, but Uranus and Gemini is going to really help us feel like we don't all have to just hop in a camp and follow along and recite the rules. Our truth matters. Your truth matters. What you know and what you can contribute, no one else can contribute. There's going to be that reckoning this year. Um, and if I think about a theme of what's happening this year, let me pause because that's kind of the some of the major stuff that's happening at the beginning of the year. But I've shared a story before about a Peruvian shaman that I went to go see do a crystal skull ceremony, and this is probably like 15 years ago. But at the end of this ceremony, he said to the room, he said, for however many $100, he could do a clearing for anybody who wants it. And he guaranteed that any blockages, any heaviness, any patterns that were in the body or the field would immediately leave. But he said, and then he held up his finger, he said, but they're gonna come back and you're gonna have to decide. The clearing will only work if you really change. And when I saw what he was saying, I saw something and I saw how our original wounds, the patterns that are in our lives that somehow repeat, like the first time we get that quote unquote wound, it feels like something comes and hits us right down our center line and it knocks us over and there's turmoil or trauma or fear, and we get back up. And then somehow, however much time later, something comes and there's an eerily similar pattern to it. But this time it hits us somewhere in our body, but it hits us maybe kind of off our center. So again, we get knocked over, but we get back up a little quicker and we're kind of aware of the pattern. Still a little bit challenged or traumatized, but we got through it more quickly. And then it comes and it grazes our shoulder. Again, there we go, getting knocked over. Gosh darn it, this pattern. The more we're authentically in the energy and really truly trying to be aware of what's happening, doesn't mean we have to be perfect. It means we need to be aware. The next time it comes, it's not even going to hit us. It's going to graze us. And we're going to be kind of dancing with this pattern, doesn't affect us. And it's going to keep iterating itself out until it finally leaves our field. 2026 is one of those years of pattern realization. It's a year of opportunity for pattern release, and it's a year for patterning upgrading. So it's going to be a really good year for us to just keep our eyes open with what is coming into our experience. And this is kind of what I feel like if we're talking about the energy of the fire horse, there's really the ability this year to feel that we're as if we're being lifted up and out of 3D reality. There's also higher dimensional consciousness that's coming through big time in 2026. So linear space and time, although they seem very concrete in this physical world, we're going to have the opportunity to have experiences that are those kind of portals. And this pattern realization, release, and upgrade is part of that, where suddenly something that seemed so entrenched can just pop itself out of existence in our world. And so that's kind of an exciting time. The other things that are happening this year, we have Jupiter going out of Cancer. So Jupiter's going to be in Cancer till June, and then it's going to go into the sign of Leo. And we have Chiron going out of Aries and into Taurus in the middle of the year. So that's going to start to give us another feel for the type of energy. But I guess I'll kind of close with what's also going to start to be apparent this 2026 year is the lunar nodes are changing signs. The lunar nodes are responsible for the types of energetic downloads and opportunities that come with eclipses. And if you enjoy eclipse season or you're scared of eclipse season, you likely know that eclipse season are also portals, right? And so we're coming out of the Pisces Virgo eclipse axis where the north node was in Pisces, the south node is in Virgo. And we're going to be shifting into the north node heading into Aquarius, which is going to be very simpatico with Pluto in Aquarius, and the south node in Leo. So this year there's going to be a little bit of a dance. We're going to have a couple eclipses on the axis that we're leaving, the Pisces Virgo axis. But we're also going to have a couple eclipses on the axis that we're heading into, the Aquarius Leo axis. And if we think about what Pluto in Aquarius means, it's a massive shift from top-down power into circular power, decentralized systems where everybody matters again. And so the eclipse seasons this year, we're going to have an eclipse in February and March, and then we're going to have two eclipses in August. And those eclipse seasons are going to really start to shift us into the Aquarius Leo axis. And, if North Node is in Aquarius, that's where we're headed. That's why our soul has come to incarnate in this body in this lifetime at this precise moment in time. And we're really going to be able to get some Plutonian downloads, which is subtle energy, and outer planets always win about the types of transformation that's possible for us and that we can offer to the world. South Node in Leo is the lessons that we've learned and where we've been. And Leo's going to remind us to be courageous and to be loving and to move and breathe from our heart. So I hope that you kind of get a sense that this year, 2026, next year, as I'm recording this right at the end of December, this is a powerful reset year. The number one in numerology is really about manifesting. It's about new beginnings. But, if we think about this being a year of powerful new beginnings and really about self empowerment and manifesting new realities and releasing patterns to embrace patterns. And if human beings are pattern loving, uh, entities, we're really going to be in, we're going to get some massive upgrades here for this, for realizing the ways that we have been suboptimally running and really going to find some motivation this year to natural motivation. Inspiration is some of the words that are coming through for enjoying and embodying the types of changes and the vibrations that we seek. So I hope this is helpful for you. I'm excited to have you with me on this journey in this next year to come. Bright blessings and so much love.